William Morrow and HarperAudio present A Tempest of Desire, a novel by Lorraine Heath, performed by Will Watt. This book is dedicated to Dr. Ryan Mooney, who calmed my fears and used his surgical skills to send the cancer into oblivion, Dr. Deepna Jaiswal, who used her oncological expertise to ensure it stays there, all the nurses, NPs, PAs, technicians and staff who always have a ready smile, a kind word, and provide incredible care during a challenging time in a cancer patient's life. And last but not least, Nathan, who refused to believe this chapter in our story wouldn't have a happy ending and held my hand through it all. I love you, babe, more than words can ever express. Prologue. From the Journal of Viscount Langdon. It was not an easy thing to be born the son of the Earl of Claiborne, the Devil Earl as those of influence referred to him in whispers. My mother worked diligently to redeem his unsavory reputation in order to ensure he and his children were accepted by those who mattered. But few could forget, or were willing to overlook, the fact that he'd once killed a man. I found it difficult to reconcile that facet of his past, as I knew him to be a kind and protective father, although he taught me things that few sons of noblemen knew. How to secretly pull a card from the bottom of a deck, how to deftly pick a pocket, how to accurately measure a man's worth. But of most import, he taught me to wholly embrace and enjoy my passions. I was 6 years of age the first time he took me on a journey via the railway. I fell instantly in love with the motions of the coach, the speed. I marveled at how this machine could unite the world, equalize the masses, and quickly take me on adventures. I could spend the day at the seaside and be back home in time for dinner. I could travel places with hardly any bother at all. And I did, often, whenever I had the chance. Then, on a dark and stormy June night in the year of our Lord, 1878, the railway that I loved taught me that, with no warning whatsoever, life could drastically change between one heartbeat and the next. Chapter 1. Off the Cornish Coast, April 1879. While the howling wind tore around him and the rain lashed at his upturned face, he staggered to the edge of the cliff, braced himself against nature's wrath, and hurled the empty whiskey bottle into the blackened abyss that contained monstrous waves thrashing against the rocky, sandy shore. His harsh laughter was carried out to sea as his black greatcoat whipped around his calves, and he wondered why he'd even bothered to wear it. The brutal rain had drenched him. The wind threatened to shove him right over the edge, but he stood his ground and trembled. Just as he'd trembled uncontrollably that fateful night when his world changed completely. There had been a storm then as well, as harsh and unforgiving as the one he faced now on his tiny, secluded isle, where he came to escape the horrific memories. Only they refused to leave him in peace. They battered him as vehemently and with as much fury as the tempest that surrounded him. And if he couldn't escape them, he could at least teach himself to ignore them, to send them into the darkest recesses of his mind where they might lose the power to plague him. Consequently, he stood there stoically and refused to allow them victory, to force him into scurrying back to the residence where a warm fire and another bottle of scotch waited, where he could hide from the unfortunate truth that he'd got
Sample complete. Ready to continue?